It may still be August, but this is when dreams of December are forged. Welcome, everyone, to Comedian Field in Holliston, Mass. on Friday, October 31st for a brand new season of Sports Views, award-winning production of Holliston Panther football. It's found only on HCAT TV. Tonight, the Panthers host the Milford Scarlet Hawks for the 10th annual preseason Joey Laracy Bowl. My name is Carlos Canto, and alongside me is the color man who loves even preseason football, the legend, Jay Wyman. Jay, these two teams met in last year's postseason, and now it's the preseason. What can we expect to see from these border town rivals tonight?
Well, first of all, I love the fact these teams are playing each other. I think they should be natural play, and I've said all along they should play on Thanksgiving, so we'll get that out of the way right now. I think you're going to see, of course, this is the scrimmage, but they're going to play this a lot, especially in the first half, just like a game. This is where both teams work the kinks out. And, one thing, Carlos, is that this year, normally, we've had a couple scrimmages before that, but due to the weather conditions, the hot and humid weather, they had to cancel the Franklin scrimmage. So they had a scrimmage with Natick, and now they get this. But this is a tremendous way for them to start the season, get out here, play some real football under regular rules. The only difference, I believe, is going to be the kickoff and punts. I don't think they're going to run them back. But other than that, that's it. And it's a wonderful idea, and, of course, it's for a wonderful, wonderful cause, Joey Laracy.
Yeah, the 10th annual Joey Laracy Bowl, one of the great traditions here in Holliston, where we take time to, remember the legacy and the life of Joey Laracy 10 years ago today. Players taking the field, ready for the coin toss. We make fun of these preseason games sometimes, but they really are important because they give both the players and the coaches good opportunity to evaluate, performance growth among all the players and kind of, put those players into key spots along the team.
Yeah, and the other thing it does really is it sets them up for the season because, a lot of teams will come out in the first game. They'll say, "Oh, we forgot to do this. We forgot to do that." Well, this is what this is for, to get the kinks out.
Head coach Todd Kiley in his 16th year with the Holliston Panthers. They were 5-5 last year, averaging 23 points on offense, giving up 18 points per game on defense. They faced the Anthony Vizakis in his second year as the Milford head coach. They were also 5-5 last year, averaging 20 points a game on offense, 18 points a game given up on defense. Holliston has made the playoffs 8 of the 9 last year kind of being the outlier. 17-5 in the playoffs, 10-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. The Panthers' home record, 44-7 since 2009. That's good for 86%. And Holliston is 9-0 in the Laracy Bowl, looking to make it a straight 10-0. Last year, they were 34-6 winners over the Framingham Flyers.
Yeah, and as we said at the beginning of the game, what they did today, instead of having the runbacks on the kickoff, they do the kickoff and then they put the ball at the 25-yard line. So Holliston first and 10 at the 25 to start off this ball game.
Number 8, Matt Arvanitis comes out at quarterback, the junior, for the Panthers, and they come out in the spread. Inside handoff. That's to number 22, Tristan Benson. He had a great year last year as a freshman.
Yeah, I like both these guys. Talk for a minute about Matt Arvanitis. He had a nice Thanksgiving Day game. He came out. He's very athletic, and he throws a very, very nice ball. I'm sure he's worked a little bit on it, get a little bit deeper, but he has a tremendous touch on the ball. And then Tristan Benson, who I just love to watch him run. He's just really special. I think he's going to have a big year this year behind this offensive line.
It's getting about 1.5, brings up a 2nd and 8. Arvanitis in the pistol. Fakes the handoff and then hands it off to number, I believe that's Benson again. No, Dylan Ibbotson, the junior. It's good for a gain of about 5 or 6 yards, brings up a 3rd and 3.
Dylan, last year, he did a lot as a blocking back. He did an excellent job, and a couple of those games, they get to carry the ball a little bit. And I remember one game I was really rooting for him to score a touchdown because he did so well blocking for his teammates, and he was able to score in that game.
Yeah, 226 yards rushing last year for Ibbotson. 5 touchdowns. Shotgun snap. Arvanitis rolls out. He's complete to number 5, Billy Nash. Billy Nash, another big returner for the Panthers. He had 78 yards, 2 touchdowns last year as a junior.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Matt Arvanitis. I think what they have to do a lot is maybe roll him out left or right. He's really, really fast. He's a good athlete, as I said, and he does, though, as you saw right there, a nice touch on that pass.
Completion is good for a first down for the Panthers. Number 10, Mulvaney, in motion to the backfield. It's a handoff to Benson. It's good for about 4 or 5 yards. Maybe even a little bit more. Brings up 2nd and 5 from the Holliston 47-yard line.
Holliston, of course, they have the dual offenses. They have the spread offense, and then they have their war package when they want to take over the field by running.
Yeah, always an over-under. How many plays into the season they come out in the war with, or how many plays until they come out to the war. Number 2, Henry Naughton in motion across the field. Arvanitis rolls out, completes the pass to number 2, Naughton. Is out of bounds at the 34-yard line for Milford.
And I like the way Matt rolled. You know, he rolls left, he can throw the ball. He rolls right, he can throw the ball. That's really impressive. And both those times he's put the ball right where only the offensive player can catch the ball. So nice job by Matt Arvanitis to start this season.
Yeah, Panthers into Milford territory now with that first down conversion. A couple of nice rollout passes from Arvanitis to start this game.
Holliston stays in their spread.
Number 5, Bill Nash, wide left. Number 3, Anthony Zindale, wide right. It's a pitch to number 2, Henry Naughton. He gets knocked out of bounds after about a 5-yard carry.
Yeah, and I think what you're going to see tonight when they go to the war, I think you might see Henry Naughton at quarterback. The other person you mentioned was Anthony DeZindalet. And, Tom and I were at a passing league game we went to, and he looked really good, really good. He may be one of the top receivers this year for Holliston.
Benson back in at tailback. Panthers back in the pistol shotgun. Mulvaney in motion to the right. Handoff is to Benson. Gets tackled after about a gain of 2 or 3 yards. It's going to bring up a third down. Second third down opportunity for the Panthers today.
Yeah, and right now, right up front, what's happening is Holliston, that offensive line is kind of taking control, and they're moving the ball right along here. About third, maybe 2 or 3 here in the with 8:12 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, and this is also 4-down territory for the Panthers. Anytime you crack the 40-yard line, it's pretty much 4-down territory.
Well, with Coach Kiley, anytime you're your own 40-yard line.
Yeah, right. Ibbotson comes in motion to the left. Arvanitis drops back, unloads to number 21. That's Ibbotson. Gets tackled after about maybe 1 yard gain.
Yeah,
he's going
to be just shy, maybe like a yard shy of.
Yep, it's going to be 4th and 3. Like we said, this is definitely 4-down territory. So the offense is going to stay out there. Arvanitis getting the play from Coach Kiley.
That screen was set up nicely. They did everything perfectly, but Milford played that very, very well.
Mulvaney in motion to the right. Arvanitis drops back. Oh, and he had Ibbotson open in the flat, but Ibbotson just couldn't, hold on to it. And it's going to be a turnover on downs. Some flashes out of the Panthers there in that first possession, but, just not enough execution at the end.
Yeah, and one of the things that we saw there, of course, was Matt Arvanitis being able to twice now in the screen pass and in this pass. I don't know if this was also supposed to be a screen pass, but whether it was or not, he was able to avoid the rush, and he can do that. And if he can get to the outside, the other thing I think you're going to see at some point here is he's going to take off down the sideline and get a lot of yardage, kind of like the Patriots quarterback last night.
So here's our first look at the Holliston defense in 2018. It's a very beefy defensive line up front. You have number 51, Sam Curell, number 76, Ryan Cahill, number 59, David Harding, and number 57, Scott Elliott. Scott Elliott, as we mentioned, the commit to Harvard, finishing up a wonderful career here with the Panthers. Handoff is to the Milford running back. He's completely devoured in the backfield by the Panther defense. There is a flag on the play, so we'll check that first.
I think what you're going to see from Milford a lot this year is they're going to be running behind number big 75, Kevin Pine over there. Oh, it looks like this is against Holliston. Interesting.
Stepped off against Holliston for appears to be offside.
Looks like it's an offside penalty that will give Milford free 5 yards. And it's going to be 1st and 5 from the Milford 32-yard line. The quarterback for Milford is number 7, whose number is not on our roster. A lot of times you see during these preseason games, you see a little bit of shenanigans with the jersey numbers and all that. So sometimes hard to distinguish who is on the field and who isn't. But we will do our best tonight.
Well, right there, what happened was Holliston was able to come out and contain, force that the runner to come inside a little bit, and Holliston was able to make the tackle, short gain.
Bring up a 2nd and 5 for Milford. Quarterback drops back, and he's sacked.
What a great play.
That's number 21, Dylan Ibbotson, coming in on a blitz.
You know, I talked a little bit about Dylan on offense and what he did last year. Did a lot of the dirty work, doing the blocking and everything, and he got rewarded with a few carries and a few touchdowns. I'm looking forward to him playing defense, though. He's really a special athlete, and he's a football player. And I think that's the best thing you can say about anybody out there, that they're a football player, and that's what Dylan's doing right now.
Yeah, and the handful of plays he's had already tonight, you can already see the athleticism, speed, and the athleticism that he brings to the table. So after the sack, that's going to bring up a 3rd and about 17. Milford's going to unload a pass here that's caught by number 4, Brendan White. For Milford, brought out of bounds by number 1.
Sean Keast.
For Holliston. Yep, Sean Keast.
That
long gain is going to give Milford a 1st down in Panthers territory.
And that was a beautiful, beautiful throw. I mean, Sean had that play covered almost perfectly, and the quarterback put that right in the receiver's hands, right between Sean and the out of bounds. Very, very well done by Milford.
Yeah, just lofted it over his outside shoulder. Only he could go and get it. It's 1st down handoff to number 32. There's a flag on the play. The running back is Hugo Lopes.
Yeah, we got a holding call here against Milford. So the holding penalty will move Milford back.
Appears to be against the offense.
Yeah, and this is what you want to do in these preseason games, kind of get all these silly penalties out of your system now. So when the regular season starts up, no excuses.
Yeah, and again, these are high school kids. I mean, they got some jitters too, and they're doing this and that, and they're trying to do the best they can. And especially if somebody gets beat once, like maybe, I don't know if that was the same player, maybe that's the guy that Dylan Ibbotson beat, and maybe he wants to grab and make sure it doesn't happen again. So, they have to work stuff out too. And this is a scrimmage, although it is being played as a game. But I don't think you could tell these kids down there is a scrimmage. They're playing for real.
Yeah, you put on the helmet and pads, and you want to play.
Very nicely done.
Number 32, Hugo Lopes, is devoured again in the backfield by the Panthers defense.
Ryan Cahill there on the junior on that tackle.
It's going to bring up second and forever, maybe about second and 25 or so.
This is where a lot of times you see Coach Athey. He'll want to bring it because they're going to have to put the ball in the air one of these 2 times, you would think. So this is a nice opportunity for Coach Athey to bring that defense and get a little aggressive here.
Yeah, let's your defensive linemen pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. It's going to be a sweep, 2 Lopes. He gets maybe 2 or 3 yards, but not much else. Number 3, Zindelet in the tackle there.
And again, that contain over on that side of the field is working out really well. They're not letting that the runner get outside, and it's forcing the ball inside where your backers and your safeties can come up and make the tackle. Nicely done by Holliston on defense. 3:48 left to go in the first quarter. No score. Milford with the ball, 3rd and about, 20?
3rd and 20 from the Milford 45. Pass is dropped. It was to number 88. Dan Farrell for the Milford Hawks.
And that play, too, was very well covered by Holliston.
Going to bring up a punting situation for Milford. Back deep to receive for the Panthers. Bill Nash, number 5, and number 3, Anthony Zindelet. It's a high but short punt. Too short for either Nash or Zindelet to get underneath. And it's downed by Milford at the Holliston 36-yard line. 31-yard line, excuse me.
3:25 to go in the first quarter here. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out. You know, one of the things I talk about almost every year, and it happens, is that with Holliston, a lot of times that first and even sometimes that second drive, they just kind of feeling the situation,
right,
and then they explode. You
sure.
know, and then they go out and score a lot of points. And many times it's done on the second drive of the game. So
yeah, almost like a heavyweight boxing match. Two boxers
exactly.
feeling each other out.
Yep.
And then, in those later rounds, they come out swinging.
Because you can only see so much on tape, and, you really can't tell one player against another player.
Yeah, as a fan, one of the great things about these preseason games is that, it really gives the coaches the opportunity to open up the playbook and maybe try some things that they wouldn't otherwise try in a game situation. First down, flags fly right after the snap.
Yeah,
Arvanette is in at quarterback again.
False start from Holliston.
It's going to back him up 5 yards and bring up a 1st and 15 from the 26-yard line.
We've got a lot of viewers tonight here on Facebook, and I want to thank you guys for joining us here tonight with 3:24 left in the first quarter. I hope you follow us all through the season. We'll be here. We hope you're there, if you're not here.
I want to take this opportunity to wish everyone, maybe for the first time, a happy Labor Day weekend. Hopefully you're all enjoying it somewhere, either at the beach or at the lake, or maybe just at home watching Holliston football.
What better thing on a Friday night, right?
There you go. 1st and 15 for the Panthers. Arvanette is back in the pistol. It's a handoff to Tristan Benson. Gets about 3 or 4 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 11 or 12.
It's interesting with a kid with Tristan, a kid his size, a lot of times you see them, they just scoot to the left, scoot to the right. He just goes right in. He doesn't care where it is. He'll go right in the center of that defense and come out getting some yardage. Good running back.
Yeah, very shifty, changes direction very easily. Very hard to bring down if you're a tackler. Henry Naughton in motion to the left. Arvanettis rolls out to their left and finds Naughton in the flat. Completion is good for a first down and more. He's tackled out of bounds at the Holliston 46-yard line.
Yeah, and if you can see that play again, I'm not sure if Henry was actually the initial receiver, but what Matt did, he came out, looked at Henry, then looked downfield, see is there anybody else there? No, there's nobody there. Quickly turned back, and got the ball to Henry. Boy, he really reads his defenses very well. At least he has so far tonight.
Panthers are going to pick up the pace here and run another play very quickly. It's a keeper by Arvanitis. Good for about 7 or 8 yards.
And there is a smart football play right there. Why get crushed when I can come down? I picked up 7 or 8 yards, maybe 9 yards. Why would I get crushed? I'll just sit down here and get the ball on my backs on a 2nd and 2.
Yeah, Matt isn't the biggest quarterback in the world, so it's going to be important for him to make good decisions like that.
But you saw his quickness. See him come out when he comes out there. That he's definitely a dual threat out there. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter here. Sorry, Carlos.
Yep, no. Lots of options in the coach's playbook on 2nd and 1 here from the positive side of the 50-yard line. It's a keeper, and then kind of a shovel pass to Nunn, and he is clear for a big gain, knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line or so. And that's some great inspiration there by Matt Arvanitis.
That was tremendous. What he did, he knew he was going to get rocked. And, sometimes you know you're going to get rocked and you're ducking it. He didn't. He took his time, set up, got the ball out there to the receiver, and did a great job. That was just a sensational play by Matt Arvanitis.
And we have a timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. And the Panthers' offense is rolling now.
Yeah, that line's working well. The backs are working well, and of course the receivers. One other thing too. I mean, we talked a lot about Matt tonight, and rightfully so. He's done a nice job at quarterback, but those receivers have had some sure hands too.
Dylan Ibbotson in the backfield for the Panthers. Arvanitis in at quarterback. Number 4, Ryan Topher in motion to the right. Handoff is to Ibbotson. He's tackled after about 2 or 3 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd down.
Dylan's a tough runner, too. Dylan's an inside runner. And, again, a lot of times, see, the classic inside runner is, has a lot of weight and good size. But Dylan, he's like Tristan. He'll go in there, and he's not afraid to bang heads in there.
Panthers back out in the spread.
I guess you don't bang heads anymore. he's not afraid to go in there and fight the good fight.
Now in motion to the left. Arvanitis rolls out to the left, uncorks one, and is just off the fingertips of number 4, Ryan Topher. Arvanitis had him in the end zone, but just couldn't complete the catch.
They're in that part of the field where a lot of times the quarterback likes to throw to the tight end, especially a little bit bigger, a little bit taller.
It's going to bring up a 3rd down situation here. 3rd and about 6 from the Milford 13-yard line. First red zone opportunity for either team tonight. Mulvaney in motion to the left. Arvanitis feels the pressure and evades it. Lets loose.
Oh, did he catch
and
that?
The pass is caught by Zindelet. It's close to the 1st down marker. I'm not sure he got it.
Looks like 4th down.
It's going to be 3 or 4 yards short. Pushed out of bounds close to the marker, but he was well short.
Great job getting away. Great job getting the ball off, and a nice catch there by Anthony Zindelet.
2nd, 4th down for the Panthers tonight. And we're going to take another timeout. 52 seconds remaining in the first quarter, still scoreless, but the Holliston Panthers with the ball, 4th down from the Milford 10-yard line. What do you call in 4th down here, Jay?
Well, it's really wide open in this situation, especially with the quarterback like Matt. Especially with Matt at quarterback, because he can go either way. He can run, he can take it, he can throw the ball, or give it to one of his running backs. So this really opens up a lot of opportunities.
Bill Nash wide left, and Anthony Zindelet wide right. Mulvaney in motion. Arvanitis keeps it, gets the 1st down. down at the 4-yard line. It's going to be first and goal for the Panthers.
I am really impressed at how intelligent he is right there. He thought he might have somebody, but you know what? He said, if I cut in, I can get a definite first down. I'll get the first down. We'll let the fight for 4 more downs for another day. So very, very nicely done.
Yeah, just a classic case of Arvanitis taking what the defense gives him. You know, everyone was covered downfield, takes off and uses that speed to his benefit. First time in war this season for the Panthers. The pitch is to Dylan Ibbotson. It's downed after about a yard or two. Going to be second and goal. See if the Panthers stay in war, and they do.
They switch out here.
Quarterback in war right now is Henry Naughton. You were right, Jay. Number 1, Sean Keast is the fullback.
Wow.
The handoff is to Tristan Benson, and he's in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Panthers.
Well, that's a nice drive, and, you know, you got to see both offenses. You get to see, but in that drive, the game intelligence of Matt Arvanitis was featured, and he did a great job there. And then that offensive line came in, and they just took over the rest of the way and opened the door. 2 seconds left in the first quarter. 6-0 here, and we're looking for an extra point.
Connor Mulvaney will attempt the extra point. The holder is Arvanitis. Kick is up,
Nice. Very
it is good. And with 2 seconds to go in the first quarter, Panthers take a 7-0 lead over the Milford Hawks.
Nicely done there by the whole offense, the running backs, the receivers, the line did a really nice job, and gave the quarterback the time he needed. And of course, Matt Arvanitis just really looks good. You know, you come into these games. A lot of times we'll come into these seasons and we'll kind of get an idea because, well, this kid's coming back and that kid's coming back, but last year was the first year I think that we came into a season that I kind of said, well, I'm really not sure. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just didn't know what would happen. And same with this year. It kind of came in and said, well, who's going to be quarterback? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? I figured defensively they'd be fine. I figured the offensive line would be fine, and maybe the running backs. But boy, oh boy, they found a gem in Matt Arvanitis if he continues to play like this.
Mulvaney boots the kickoff. It's fielded by number 32 for Milford. That's Hugo Lopes. They're going to down the ball immediately after catch in this preseason game. They're going to spot it at the 25-yard line. And that's the end of the first quarter, with the Panthers leading 7-0.
A couple things while we get the first quarter here. We got some changes coming up this year. Normally at this time of the game, Tom will come up and do a coach's corner, but this year we're going to do a little something different. We're going to talk about the player of the game from the week previous. Of course, there was no week previous, except for Thanksgiving. And then at the coming into the fourth quarter, as normally we do this week in the Tri-Valley League, we're going to go back and look through Ken Dunn's history of Holliston football and do some historical facts. So change up a little bit. The other thing is new truck downstairs. The
very excited for that.
HCAT.
Yes.
They got a really nice truck. We've got some new faces in here, doing the game for us. And good job by HCAT.
Well, when you're an award-winning production like we are, the bar keeps getting higher every time. Milford comes out in their own version of war. Double wing offense. The handoff is to number 33. That's Lucas Rosa.
Anthony DeZindelin on the tackle.
Gain is good for about 4 yards. Brings up 2nd and 6. Milford comes back out in their double wing. Handoff to Rosa. He's engulfed in the backfield by the Panther defense. Good penetration by that defensive line.
Yeah, that's going to be for a little loss, and maybe a loss of half a yard or a yard.
Yep. Back it up about, looks like no gain, maybe a little bit of a loss. 3rd and long, 3rd and about 8.
Again, opportunity for the Holliston defense to put a little pressure on the quarterback.
Milford 3 straight plays out of their double wing. Pass is complete for a big gain to number 33. That's Lucas Rosa. He's finally tackled at the Holliston 10-yard line. It's going to set up shop for Milford, first and goal.
Well, one of the things right there that I really like to see out of Holliston, there was no give, no free ones there, even though the receiver had a huge lead on. I think it was Anthony Zedenzelet who came and turned him inside, and Henry Naughton might have been who made the tackle. But it's nice to see those guys come through and not give up anything here. 9:44 left to go in the first half. Holliston up 7-0.
And we're going to take another timeout. Milford comes back out in their double wing offense. Big number 87 comes out at fullback. That's Dominic Schofeld.
Oh, great tackle.
Handoff.
Oh!
Tackled in the backfield. That's number 10, Connor Mulvaney.
Yeah, we got a flag here.
There is a flag on the play.
Something looked like after the play. It certainly was behind the play.
Yeah, he's talking to the Holliston defense, so it looks like it's on Milford. Maybe a hold.
Of course, you get down here in the red zone, and if you have a loss like that, sometimes you decline the penalty and say, "I'll take the play."
Sure. Right. I mean, with the halfway to the goal line, a lot of that yardage is kind of eliminated anyway. So you almost might want to take the down.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they're marking him off against Holliston.
So it is on Holliston.
Oh,
Looks
wow.
like it's a hold, defensive holding call on Holliston. Half the distance to the goal will set up Milford first and goal from about the 5-yard line, it looks like.
Boy, really interesting. They went over here talking to Holliston, and they're pointing back at Milford, and I'm going, wow, I thought it was on Milford. Oh, nice tackle.
Another great defensive play by the Holliston Panthers. Milford really can't get anything going on the run, in the running game so far tonight. Everything they've done against Holliston has pretty much been through the air.
Yeah, the good pursuit by Holliston, good contained by Holliston. That's what you got to do to keep that running game intact.
Brings up a second and goal from the 10-yard line.
Just inside of 9 minutes left in the first half.
Great crowd here tonight for the Larry C. Bowl.
Unbelievable.
Got the big red C out in force, so tonight they're the big black C.
Another nice job by that defensive line.
Inside handoff bounces off of a couple of tacklers.
They keep
finally
going.
brought down.
Wow. That was a good run. They had Holliston had him early, and they just didn't finish him.
Yeah, a whole lot of sticking, not enough wrapping on that one. And it's going to bring up a third and goal from inside the 5-yard line. About the 3, maybe even the 2-yard line. Here comes that goal line situation we were talking about.
Look for them to come maybe left here again with Pine leading the way. There they go, right at Pine.
Ball is on the ground. Don't know if they're going to call it down or not.
Touchdown.
And they call it a touchdown, Milford.
Well,
looks like that was number 2, Matt Shaver, who stretched out the ball right over the goal line. Yeah. Good enough for the touchdown.
Right, you're exactly right. That's exactly what happened. And what happens is once that ball's over the goal line, it's over. If he comes down and fumbles, it doesn't matter. That ball's over the goal line as long as it's in possession.
Yeah, Jets tight end might have a quarrel about that.
Yeah.
Kick is up, and it is good. So score is tied with 7:56 to go, 7 apiece. Well, here we go.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. fun.
Yeah,
back
I mean,
and
this is
forth.
what you want to see. You don't want to have a kind of a cupcake for this last tune-up, right?
Right.
You want as strong of a team as possible. And like we said, this is a great matchup for the Panthers. Nice short trip for both teams. Two, border town rivals. Can't really get much better in terms of a game that doesn't count.
Right. The other thing is over there on the other side of the field, the head coach is in his second year, but he just brought in Dana Olson, who was the coach over at Millis. And Olson, he and his brother had taken the Millis team to back-to-back Super Bowls.
Holliston has a really interesting kick return, formation out there. It's almost like they have four deep. Ibbotson, Tristan Benson, Nash,
And that's why.
and Zindelet.
That's exactly why right there. Because that ball was kicked into the end zone.
Yeah, and if you've never seen Milford play, they have an absolute beast at kicker. I mean, he was nailing 62-yard field goals in, pregame.
And I don't even think this is the kid they had last year. I think, was it Lahane? Was that his name, I think? And
Lahane, yes.
that Tom gave me a hard time. By the way, I want to wish Tom Emmons and his family a nice weekend here. His daughter, Melissa, getting married on Sunday. That's why Tom's not with us tonight. He'll be back next week. Carlos will be back in the stats chair. That's another thing we're going to do this year. We're going to have Carlos be able to cut in with comments on statistics and other things that he sees. So it's going to be nice, kind of like having a third man in the booth.
Yeah, it's a stat-driven world.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, also another thing here, the lovely Lisa, who's up top there, is she has her 39th birthday this Sunday. So a lot of stuff going on this week.
1st and 10 from the Holliston 25-yard line. Arvanitis back out at quarterback. Pass is to number 2, Henry Naughton. Gets as far as the 35-yard line. Very close to a first down.
They're giving
Actually, it is going to be a first
yeah,
down.
they're giving
it
him the
looks like.
first down. One ref is giving him the first down.
It was a 10-yard gain, so it should be a first down.
Yeah.
It is a first down. First down, Holliston.
Pretty little swing pass from the Panthers on first down. Gives them another first down, this time from the 35-yard line. And looks like we have a timeout. Milford coming away with a 36-6 victory last November. Definitely not one of the better performances by the Panthers, on the season. But, it's one of those weird quirks with the Massachusetts playoff schedule. That first game after a playoff loss, very difficult for both teams. Handoff is inside to number 22, Tristan Benson. Breaks a couple tackles and brings it all the way to the 44-yard line. It's very close to the first down. It's probably going to be second and inches.
Yeah. 7.5 minutes left to go in this first half.
Panthers are going to stay in the spread on second and inches. Mulvaney in motion to the left. It's going to hand off to Benson. Jukes a tackle and then gets downed at about the 50-yard line.
I said it before. I'll say it again. I just love the way he runs. And I used to say last year, he looks to me like he's a very violent runner. The way he runs, he's all over the place. He'll push, he'll turn, he'll twist, he'll do whatever it takes to get that extra yard. And looks like he's in for a big night and hopefully a big season.
Yeah, it almost reminds me a little bit of Kevin Falk the way he runs. You know, very lateral. Kind of a scatterbug, scat back. Not quite as beefy as Kevin Falk, though. Handoff is to Benson again. This time he gets met in the backfield. Very well read by the defender for Milford. That's number 50. Josh Liger. He's one of the captains for the Scarlet Hawks.
Well, that time they maybe have gone to the well a little bit too often there, and Milford would have none of it.
And we have another timeout on the field, this time by Holliston.
this is a Holliston team that does have a lot of athletes, a lot of good athletes. My understanding was the coaches were happy with the off-season training, and some of that is showing here tonight.
Back with 2nd and 12, coming out of the timeout, just on the home side of the 50-yard line. Overnightis drops back, unloads a pass deep. He's got number 3.
Oh, he's just out of bounds, I think. Are they going to give it just
Anthony
out of bounds?
Zindelet, he is out of bounds.
Yeah.
Very nice pass, just couldn't reel it in bounds.
Now that's nice to see, because that's something, I wasn't quite sure on Matt's arm how strong he was going downfield, but put a lot of air under that one and gave Anthony time to run under it, but unfortunately they were just a little bit out of bounds.
Yeah, Matt does have a very nice, long ball. It gets gets some air under it very nicely. Allows the receivers to run underneath it and catch it.
If you've ever been a receiver in football, you really like that. You like to have that ball kind of float into your hands.
Overnightis rolls out to the left. Pass is off the fingertips of number 5, Billy Nash.
I didn't get to see. I couldn't see the number down there, but somebody on Holliston made a tremendous block. The Milford player came really scrambling right across the line of scrimmage, and the Holliston player just blocked him. I didn't quite see who it was.
Brings up another 4th down for the Panthers. 4th and 12 from the Holliston 48-yard line. 6:15 to go in the first half. Panthers will come out in the spread. Zindelet wide near. Overnightis drops back, will keep it, unloads it at the end. He's got number 4. That's Ryan Topher. He's in for the touchdown. Beautiful pass from Matt Overnightis. Almost faked the keeper and then unloaded the pass at the end.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what happened. Overnightis turned that corner, and that defensive back stopped for a minute because he wasn't quite sure whether Matt was going to make the turn and come at him. So he stopped for a minute, allowed Topher to get down there and open, and then he just threw that beautiful. And there's going to be a flag down here. Let's see if they're going to say he was over the line of scrimmage. Maybe he was over the line of scrimmage. I don't know. Offside. Well, it's not a real game. So okay, but I will tell you, that's a play that's in their playbook now, and it's still the way that play was run was absolutely perfectly. And like you said, once Matt turned the corner like he was going to run, then you saw that defensive back stop. He didn't know what to do because he had to come back. There was nobody else over here. He had to come back to make the tackle. He stopped just long enough. Matt did a tremendous job of reading it and throwing the ball deep downfield. Now, they said this is offsides Holliston, so it wasn't like he was over the line, I guess.
Okay, so we have an illegal forward pass by Holliston. It did look like, Overnightis had crossed the line of scrimmage by the time he let loose that pass.
So maybe that's why the defender figured out it was by the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so I believe that,
but
a forward pass is a loss of down.
I don't know. They're going to give him the ball. Holliston got the ball. Still 4th down.
Nope. That is a turnover on down.
So
Milford will be coming back. That is a loss of down with the penalty. So Milford will come out. It's going to be 1st and 10.
So why don't they get the ball where the ball was thrown?
Ball turns over because the loss of down comes with the penalty.
Interesting.
Yeah, usually a illegal forward pass brings a loss of down with it. So
you're right. It would. It makes sense.
Not surprising that it's a turnover on downs here. The spot is a little interesting, though.
Yeah.
So in any event, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Milford from the Holliston 43-yard line. Actually, it looks like Holliston's going to punt the ball away.
Yeah, there you
Milford.
go.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that makes
more
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Yep. The punt is downed at the 22-yard line, where Milford will take over.
5:58 left to go in this first half. 7-7 game. Well, couple small things to clean up here, but again, that's what they're looking for tonight. You know.
Yeah, and like we said, this is almost like that fourth preseason game in the NFL, right? This is the last opportunity that everyone has. Last opportunity that coaches have to kind of see if maybe a player is well suited at one position over another. So, don't be surprised to see some players kind of playing out of position.
Yeah, and another thing you'll see probably maybe at the right after half or somewhere in the third quarter, I think you'll see a lot of players coming in and out.
Yeah, some of the younger players. So here's Milford with 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. It's an inside handoff, but it's met immediately in the backfield. That's number 13, Kevin Lyons, sophomore. Well-read play.
Yeah, that's one of those sophomores. You're talking about this. There is quite a bit of youth on this Holliston team. And that doesn't bode well for the TVL the next couple of years either.
Absolutely. The loss brings up a 2nd and 11 for Milford. They come back out, dual slots. One of them comes motion to the left. It's kind of a little hitch pass to the receiver. He's tackled immediately by number 78. That's Chris O'Connell. About a 6-yard gain, brings up a 3rd and 7 for Milford.
There's one of your defensive tackle coming out making a play like that. Nicely done. Big 3rd down here for Milford. Holliston, if they can stop him here, they'll get the ball right back with 4:40 left to go in the first half.
Milford quarterback rolls out to the right. Unloads a pass, but it's dropped a little bit low for the receiver. Still don't know who the Milford quarterback is. Number 7. I believe they're alternating with number 11, Ryan Pearl, who is the senior captain quarterback for Milford. Mass substitutions on 4th down as the punt team comes out. Back deep is Nash. Zindelet as well.
Look how deep. Look at that respect they're giving this punter. Yeah, and rightfully
Another
so.
Nice punt. It's let go and downed at about the 30-yard line. Keeps rolling to about the 28-yard line. And that's where Holliston will take over 1st and 10. About 4:16 left in the half.
Well, nice stand there by the defense, shutting down the running game of Milford.
Yeah, especially after the disappointing penalty on the touchdown there. To come back and get the ball right back.
Yeah,
Very well done.
Looks like they're going to stay in the spread.
Try to rattle off some of the linemen for you as they come in and out. I've already mentioned Scott Elliott. Number 53, Zach Athey is in there.
Zach's a sophomore, I believe.
That's correct. Got 72, Will Crowley. And 54, Sam Lynch. First and 10 for the Panthers from their own 18-yard line. Overnitis takes the shotgun snap, unloads it to number 3. That's Zindelet. It's a good gain for about 4 or 5 yards, maybe a little bit more. Actually, it's a first down.
Yeah, McKay Crichton did a beautiful block on that play. You mentioned one of the another athlete coming up here. His older brother Nick, who's at Bentley, is a captain for the Bentley football team this year, as is Joe Belomo up at Kings Point for the Richmond Marine team. A couple big-time Holliston stars who are now captains of their college team.
Handoff is inside to Benson. It's tackled after about 9 yards. Good first down run there by the Panthers. They move the ball now back a yard or two, so it's a 2nd and 8. Excuse me, 2nd and 2.
Clock is running, coming up on 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half.
Ball is at the Holliston 37-yard line.
Oh,
Arvanitis throws, and it's complete in a comeback pattern to Nash, number 5. Completion's good for a first down.
he is so accurate as a passer. It's amazing.
Yeah, and those comeback routes are not easy to execute. You really have to be on the money, or else you could be looking at an interception.
And what he did that time, he just he stayed in there, and he just brought his hand way up and brought it down and let go of the ball as it was coming down to keep the ball so low that only the receiver could get to it.
First down for the Panthers from the 45-yard line. Pass is complete.
Oh, what a move!
Amazing move by number 4, Ryan Topher. The move gives him another extra gain all the way down to the 24-yard line of Milford.
What a great move by Topher Ryan. Beautiful, beautiful move. Yeah, you get those tight ends. You get them working. It's going to be good.
Panthers 1st and 10 from the Milford 25-yard line.
Actually, Topher split out now.
Trips wide to the left. Ibbotson, the runner, gets tackled after a very short gain.
Dylan came up, made a really nice spin move, but there was a heck of a lot of bodies there in front of him.
Gain is about 2 yards, brings up 2nd and 8 from the 23-yard line. Dylan Ibbotson remains in the backfield. Ooh. Arvanitis just holding onto the ball a little bit too long. Gets sacked. That's number 50 for the Scarlet Hawks. Josh Liger, the captain.
Yeah, well, he get hit by the captain. Fortunately, he got hit straight on, got wrapped, and brought down properly, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and that looked like one of those coverage sacks. You saw Arvanitis trying to make his reads. He just couldn't find anyone open in time.
And that's what happens. You step up in the pocket. If he's not going left or right and he's stepping up in the pocket, he doesn't have a lot of room to move. But he's properly stepped up in the pocket.
Arvanitis fakes the handoff, keeps it, rolls to the left. It's forced out of bounds, short of the first down, but it's a good gain of about 7 yards.
Stops the clock with 1:21 to go in the half.
We'll bring up a 4th down, about 4th and 5 from just outside of the 20-yard line. So not quite in the red zone.
There's going to be a timeout here, it looks like.
And we do have a timeout by Milford.
1:21 to go. It'll be 4th and 5.
A lot of options here for Coach Kiley coming up on 4th down.
Yeah, and the great thing so far tonight, Jay, has been the distribution of those passes, right? It hasn't just been 1 or 2 receivers. Everyone's been participating in the passing game. Arvanitis uncorks one. He's got...
Oh, just barely missed it.
Had Zindelit open in the end zone, but just couldn't reel it in.
Now, this is where you have these 3 or 4 plays here, long plays. Now, he's in one thing, first of all, Matt Arvanitis threw that all the way across the field. So that's good to know, too.
Yeah.
But you've had these 3 or 4 plays where they've just missed, and you're still in a preseason situation here. When you get in the regular season, if he's hitting those plays, you got a lot of scoring that Holliston's going to do this year.
Yeah, the incompletion on 4th down will turn it over back to Milford. They'll take over at about their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. 1:15 to go in the half. We'll see what kind of 2-minute offense, or I guess 1-minute offense, Milford comes out with.
Now, this is where you might want to take some situational play and say, okay, let's get down. We got to get down the field fast. Let's do it here. See if he's throwing the ball or running it.
Rollout to the left. Feels the pressure. Didn't quite get enough underneath the ball. He had number 87 in the flat there, but the pressure just completely dismantled that play.
Okay, now so it is 1:11. Take 4 or 5 seconds off the clock. Now you're going to make one of these two completions coming up, one of these next two plays, or Holliston's going to get the ball back.
And we have another timeout on the field.
Now the other thing you got here is the Holliston defense is saying, we're tied 7-7 in this situation. This is the end of the game. We need this ball back. Get me this ball back.
2nd and 10 for Milford. Shotgun snap is mishandled. It's almost intercepted. Had number 9, Mitchell Gimblett there in coverage. Almost picked that one off.
Mitch is another one of those names that very active defensively last year. He had some really good games on the defensive side of the ball. 1:08 left to go in the first half. 3rd down and 10.
And here we go. This is exactly what you said, Jay.
Yep.
2 plays, I think only 7 seconds have come off the clock, and it's already 3rd and 10.
And now what you have to do, if you're on the defense, you got to say, okay, we can't let him complete it. Can't let him complete the pass. I'm pretty sure he's going to pass. We might have to, you never know, but and this is where you may want to.
Yeah, I think Holliston's going to take a timeout here. Back out of the timeout. It's 3rd and 10 for Milford. They're going to roll out to the left.
Oh!
The pressure.
Oh!
Once again, almost intercepted. I think there are 2 opportunities for that ball to be intercepted. Once off on the fly and again off the tip.
That quarterback got absolutely lit up. I'm not sure it was. It might have been Connor Mulvaney. I'm not sure who it was, but
it almost seems like Milford is trying to match Holliston with the rollout passes, but they're just not able to execute those patterns in the flat, and they're not able to keep the Holliston defense off them. It's a punt formation for Milford. Another high punt. It's going to be fielded by Zindelet at the 37-yard line or so. That's where Holliston will take over. About 55 seconds left to go in the first half.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about, and I said, within 40 seconds or so, you're not going to see Coach Kiley pulling the horns. There is absolutely no way that's going to happen. He's going to come out and get him right here. Now the other thing is, you're in a situation where you can move downfield a little bit with 55 seconds. Is you don't have to throw deep. You can throw to the outside and have your guys step out of bounds and save some time that way. But we'll see how they play this.
Coach Kiley giving some last-second instructions before this may be the last possession of the first half.
And you can bet this is working out perfect. This coaching staff absolutely loves the way this is working out in this scrimmage here.
Yeah, a blowout would really do them no good tonight. Now in motion to the left. Arvanitis drops back. And loads the pass to Benson in the flat. Gets tackled at around the 45-yard line.
Penalty. This is coming back.
There's a flag.
Flag on the play. It's going to negate that gain by Benson.
Like holding against the Panthers.
It's a holding call on Holliston. So that'll bring up a 1st and very long, a 1st and 20, 25 or so.
Now, obviously you don't like to see this in a game if you're a coach, but two things. A, this game doesn't count, so it's okay. Not okay to do, but I mean, it's not going to hurt you in the standings. And B, now you're going to come back and you're going to have something to work on next week with these players. So, get the blocking pattern the right way so you don't have to hold.
Yeah, and it'll give something for these coaches to focus on in the
Right.
film room when they're dissecting this after the game is over. Arvanitis rolls out to the left and loads a pass to no one. It's out of bounds. Had nothing close to the sideline there. Completion will bring up a second and very long.
That's interesting too, because I thought that Matt was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball too.
Yeah, they are spotting the ball a few yards, so I wonder if he just stepped out of bounds there before he threw it.
Yeah, that must have been because it's second down, and they went backwards with it.
No, there's a
Here's a
flag on the
marker.
play. So we'll have to figure this out first. And it looks like they are walking Holliston off here.
See, it looked to me like he was probably about several yards beyond the marker. One of the things here, as you look across the field, you can see obviously the 10-yard marker down there, and the bright orange and everything. But that second down marker, it's black with a orange 2 or whatever. You can barely see it. They should make that a little more visual.
Yeah,
so
it's not like on TV where you have the purple bar going
Right.
across the field.
NBC has this beautiful thing now they're doing where they had the green zone, and it shows you in dark green where you have to go.
Right.
It's even better than that yellow line that used to come across there. It's really kind of cool. 33 seconds left to go here, and Holliston seems to be going in the wrong direction. This is the first game for the refs, too, so everybody's got to work
right.
out these things. So let's see what this call is here. Let's see if we're going to get the call.
So looks like Milford took the down. Or if it's an illegal pass, it's a loss of down anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So third and long. Here we go. Arvanitis rolls out to the right. Looking for receivers downfield and just throws it out of bounds. And that is going to be a late hit. We have multiple flags.
Yeah, that's going to be an automatic first down.
Yeah, Arvanitis had already let go of the ball when
he
he
was
hit. And he was
out
well
of
out of bounds. Yeah.
Right.
It's the double whammy there.
Well,
That's going to be an automatic first down for the Panthers.
It was interesting. I don't know if Matt could sense someone coming up behind him, but boy, the crowd sensed it.
Absolutely.
They were kind of yelling at him.
One of the perks of playing at home.
Yeah. Down to 24 seconds left to go in the first half.
Yeah, and that's good because Holliston won't have to use a timeout if they have any left. Because of the penalty, the clock stops. It's an incomplete pass anyway.
You see, again, I think Matt was kind of trying to figure out where that down marker was, because when he is rolling out, he is kind of turning the corner. So he's got to be a little careful that he doesn't turn that corner and get over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and this Holliston offense depends so much on receivers getting open in space.
Right,
creating their own space. Not necessarily those first few patterns, but after the pattern breaks down, what can you do? Against your corner or your linebacker to get free and create some space. And that's what Arvanitis was looking for. First and 10. Arvanitis drops back, unloads one deep. That's intercepted. He had Zindelet. But looks like number 22, Maxwell Martin for Milford, comes away with the interception. A little bit too much air underneath that one.
Yeah, I did. Good, I guess we should say at this point when most people say as well as good as a punt, but unfortunately it was first down.
That's
so,
right.
17,
and there was plenty of time to work with.
Yeah, 17 seconds left to go here.
We'll see what Milford does here. Not a lot of time left that deep in your own territory. But again, it's preseason, so
And Anthony DeZindelet is having a nice night getting downfield and getting open. He was just beyond the defensive back there. Just Matt couldn't quite get it out far enough to get to Anthony.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these Holliston receivers getting behind the defense and getting open, which is good to see. First down for Milford. It's a quick pass to number 4. He's tackled immediately, but he's able to drag the Holliston defenders for another 3 or 4 yards.
Clock running.
After initial contact. Clock is running. That probably is the last play of the half. I don't think he got it off in time.
No.
And that will be the end of the first half. With the score, Holliston 7, Milford 7. We'll be back after halftime. Stay tuned. Welcome back as we get ready for the start of the second half. The score tied 7-7. Scoring summary from the first half. Panthers opened up the scoring with a 2-yard rushing touchdown from number 22, Tristan Benson. The Scarlet Hawks of Milford answered back with a 2-yard rushing touchdown of their own from Matt Shaver. And it's been a defensive showdown since then, as both teams kind of digging in their heels in the balance of that first half.
Well, yeah, and we talked a lot about it in the first half, how both teams have gotten the opportunity here to try out different things and do things differently on defense. They saw a lot of different offensive sets on both sides of the ball, and it's good. It's good that they get this and they get some practice on it. And now the question is, how long will the first teams go here? And because at some point they'll get the second teams in there. We did say ordinarily they do have those 2 scrimmages against. This year they had them scheduled against Natick and Franklin, but that Franklin scrimmage got canceled due to that really hot weather.
Connor Mulvaney sets up for the second half kickoff.
Wow.
It's a deep one. It's downed all the way at the 5-yard line, but with the preseason rules, the Milford Scarlet Hawks will take over from their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, well, O'Connor, he's got that leg working. He's been working out a little bit. And, he's had a good leg, a strong leg, but boy, oh boy, that's a nice kickoff. That'd be nice to see a few times this year. And let's hope he has a lot of kickoffs too, by the way.
That's right. Very underrated weapon is having a good kicker like that. So Milford comes out to start the second half from their own 25-yard line. Score tied 7-7. Pretty much the same starters from the first half. Number 7 comes out as quarterback for Milford. He rolls out to his right. Pass in the flat is dropped. It's going to set up a 2nd and 10.
We've had a couple of those drop tonight. That, not really a tough catch there, but a little bit hard. But he said a couple of them dropped, and, as you're a quarterback, trying to figure out what you're doing, and you come up with some nice plays like that, it gets a little frustrated sometimes.
Yeah, and you wonder when Milford's going to start to go deep. That pretty much all their passes have been in the short side of the perimeter.
And he did throw that one beautiful deep pass down here, and just hit his receiver just perfectly.
Inside handoff, but he's met in the backfield by 3 Panthers.
Well, he got that ball about
Ibbotson was in there. Oh, and there's a flag on the play. It looks like some extracurricular.
Yeah. He got the ball about 3 yards deep. He ran about 3 yards and then got pushed back about 7. So let's see what this is. Somebody must have said something.
Yep, and it looks like they're walking it off against Holliston. So personal foul by the Panthers will give Milford an automatic first down.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder if someone got thrown to the ground too hard or something.
Yeah, or like you said, maybe it was something that was said in the heat of battle. If anyone was watching the Purdue Northwestern game last night, you know what happens when you have silly penalties in key parts of the game. And you see here, I think what's happening is we have, one of those teaching opportunities that you see in these preseason games. The coaches from both teams will get together, kind of talk about, what offensive formation were you in? What was the defensive set in that situation? Because, both teams have a lot to learn from something like this.
Now, if you're wondering, which coach doing out there, don't forget this is a scrimmage. This isn't a regular season game.
1st and 10 for Milford from their own 40-yard line after the penalty. The toss is fumbled. That ball is on the ground. Looks like it's recovered by Milford. But it's going to be a very big loss of about 15, 20 yards.
Just starting the second half, 10:35, about not even quite a half a minute gone yet. And for Milford, it will be 2nd down and forever.
Very cool evening here in Holliston. 62 degrees, clear. A little unseasonably chilly, but good football weather.
Yeah, but it's fall. I mean, I know it's going to get hot again next week, but I just absolutely love this weather.
Milford quarterback drops back, rolls out to his right. Pass is complete. Number 87 sheds a tackle, but then is downed by number 1, Sean Keast.
Yeah, and I think somebody missed a little block in the back there.
Dominic Schofield on the reception for Milford. It's only a gain of about 3 or 4, brings up a 3rd and 12 from the Milford 38-yard line. Again, Milford coming at Holliston with that short passing game, but Holliston doing a really good job of reacting and coming up for the tackle.
3rd down here.
Third and 12. The pass
is
a
nice
complete,
coverage,
but there is very little gain. It's going to bring up 4th and 12. And we might see a punt formation from Milford here. And we will. Punt return team for Holliston will come out. Zindelet and Nash deep to receive the punt. Not a very high punt, but it is a long punt.
Ooh,
gets a Holliston bounce. Yeah, and it's downed right at the Holliston 23-yard line. And that's where Holliston will take over. Actually, take over at the 25-yard line.
Well,
1st and 10.
One of the things Milford can check off tonight is kicking game. And, boy, they got another good one here. I had mentioned, before the game how I really hope that at some point these two teams play each other on Thanksgiving. I think it'd be a good rivalry. Westwood, you already see them, earlier in the year.
Once or twice a year.
Yeah, depending on the
playoff
situation. So I'd really like to see that. I don't know if it's ever going to happen or come to fruition, but I think it'd be something good for both towns. It'd be fun. It's you're close by. Get a lot of people at these games. I'm sure Holliston would pack the game, and I'm sure Milford would pack the game too because it's close by. I just think it's a nice natural rivalry if they can get it going.
Yeah. Mulvaney in motion to the right. Handoff is to Benson. He's got some free space.
Oh, you got
no one anywhere close to him. Bounces it out to the left and is finally brought down out of bounds at around the 47-yard line of Milford.
A lot of times when you see a run like that, you look down, you see the blocking scheme and who did the block, and a lot of times it's those wide receivers. And this time it was Billy Nash out there making a really, really nice block, and he held his block for a long time because it took a little time for Benson to get out there to him. He held his block without holding the defensive player, and did a heck of a job. Nice job there by Billy Nash.
All the starters still in there. Center is number 50, Ryan Bouchard. Handoff is to Benson again. Almost the same play. Bounces it out to the left and gets another 5 or 6 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. 2nd and 4 from just outside the Milford 40-yard line.
Just to remind everybody that, Tristan Benson, he's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
Or as Keith Jackson say, only a sophomore.
Diaper dandy last year. Handoff is to Ibbotson this time. Very similar play, also bounced out to the left.
Yeah, what's happened is that they're either trying to go to the left on purpose for a reason, or they found something on that left side, and they're just going to play it and use it.
Gain is good for a Panthers first down. It's going to be 1st and 10 from inside the Milford 30-yard line.
Now they might come back and go the other side.
Handoff is to Ibbotson. He gets tackled immediately. Number 56. C.J. Sorella on the tackle. Very good read defensively. It's a short gain of about 1 yard. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9.
You kind of just, these offensive linemen, they love run blocking. You get to attack when you run blocking. When you're pass blocking, they come at you, and you got to kind of set up. When you're run blocking, you can go out and get that man. And these big guys up front, they love that.
Rollout from Arvanitis. He has Henry Naughton wide open on the right sideline.
Oh,
shakes a couple tackles and is finally brought down out of bounds. Gain is good for a first down. It's going to be inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Panthers.
Yeah, and that's just purely a function of going left, going left, going left. They thought they're going to go left again, and Henry's wide open over there on the right. Matt Arvanitis did a nice job of getting to the outside a little bit, getting outside that pocket, and finding Henry Naughton for the first down.
Panthers back in the red zone. Start the second half. 7:36 to go in the third quarter. Mulvaney in motion to the left. The handoff is to Tristan Benson.
Oh,
shakes a tackle.
Oh, what a run.
Still up, ball's on the ground. Don't know who has it. I think Milford has it. Looks like they do.
Yeah, they do.
And it's going to be a turnover in favor of the Scarlet Hawks.
Wow, and that's too bad. Tristan Benson made a tremendous cut just on a dime. Cut to his left. Let's see what's going to happen here. They're talking about something. Initial call by the referee was that there was a fumble recovered by Milford.
I wonder if he was down by contact before the ball came loose. No, they're going to give it to Milford.
Yeah.
And so Milford will take over deep in their own territory.
So that drive didn't end well for Holliston, but I'm going to tell you, that offensive line just absolutely took control.
Especially that left side of the offensive line,
Oh, you got that right. Wow, they did a great job of getting there, opening the holes, and making sure that these running backs get some holes to take. And those backs, Benson and Dylan Ibbotson, wow, they looked really, really good, and it's just too bad it ended that way.
Yeah, there was a 3 or 4 play stretch there where they essentially ran the same play, 3 or 4 times, just alternating between Ibbotson and Benson. Well, another one of those teaching moments, got to learn to hold on to the ball, and, that'll be something that, these running backs will probably be working on in anticipation of the next game.
What'll happen is they'll give them a ball during practice, and you got to hold on to that ball. Sometimes, the college game, what they do is they make those kids run around campus with the ball in their hands.
Famous scene from the program.
Yeah. And that's true. I mean, not always around camp, but, they make them carry it for whole practice.
Oh, and this might be a safety.
Yeah, wow.
I think he's down in the end zone. That is a safety.
So just as
2 points for that Panthers defense.
just as that offensive line took control, that defensive line took control right there, and they come back. And, you know, football's won and lost in the lines, and you get a good offensive line and a good front seven on your defense, and you're going to be in good shape. And those two plays, there's several plays on that drive, that offensive line was sensational, and right here that defensive line just blows in, and those front seven take care of scoring for Holliston.
Well, we've finally broken the tie with the safety. Panthers are going to get the ball back
Now,
on the punt.
Yeah. This will be a free kick, so it'll probably be a punt.
Now, what's the rule that you always like to bring up here? You can actually score a field goal from here if you're Milford.
Yes. If you're Holliston, you can call a fair catch on this punt or kick.
Yeah.
Call fair catch, and if you do, you get a free kick to the
goalpost.
Goalpost.
Yeah.
Seven 7:13 left to go in the third quarter. 9-7.
Panthers about to get the ball back after the safety. The 2-point lead. It's a shallow kick. It's fielded.
Now I wonder where they're going to give him this one. 15 yards up. They're going to still at the 25.
They're still going to give it to him at the 25. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
I think it bounced beyond the 25-yard line. It kind of bounced, it was a Holliston bounce by the time Zindelit fielded it. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers from their own 25-yard line, leading 9-7 in the third quarter. Just over 7 minutes to go. We'll see if the first team comes back out or if there are going to be any substitutions. Does look like there's some new faces in the huddle there.
Yeah, this is where the coaches probably get together and say, at some point, I'll get my second team in, you get your second team in, whatever.
Number 77, Gabriel Medeiros in there. 55, Justin Baddick. Try to rattle off some more names. Number 70, Rob Quinzani. Number 12, Brian Gary is in there. I think I see Joe Cassidy, number 17, in the huddle as well. 78, Chris O'Connell. And Matt Tomaselli comes out at quarterback for the Panthers. In the pistol formation. Drops the handoff, drops the snap. Tomaselli keeps it for a good gain of about 3 or 4 yards. Turns nothing out of something. Something out of nothing.
We saw Matt Tomaselli playing over in Ashland in the passing league, and I forget which team they were playing against, but he had a big game. I mean, he was throwing the ball very, very well downfield. He threw quite a few passes that were complete to Anthony DeZindelit.
Teddy Radcliffe in at one of the wingbacks, as well as Grady St. John in at tailback right now. And St. John gets the handoff, evades a tackle, and then is brought down by the bulk of the Milford defensive line. It's good for a gain of 1 or 2.
Grady St. John, a sophomore. Of course, Matt Tomaselli, he's a senior this year, quarterback.
So it's 3rd and about 2.
3rd and 2 for the Panthers. Ball is spotted at their own 37-yard line. Tomaselli keeps it and rolls out unloads one, but that's actually going to be picked off. Number 10, Xavier Hilton, Jr. from Milford with the interception.
Yeah, Brian Gary was down there. If he could have floated that ball just a little bit higher over that defender's hands, Gary was there behind the defender, and as you stated, that's the way it's been all night. These Holliston receivers have been getting free deep, but a couple times there, the Holliston quarterbacks just weren't able to get the ball to them.
A few more substitutions on the defensive side as well for the Panthers. Number 20, Christian Schneelock in there. Grady St. John stays in at the safety position. Number 23, Ryan Stanwood in at the other safety. 1st and 10 for Milford. It's a handoff to number 23, who's not on the roster, but he loses his footing and actually gets tackled for no gain. Brings up 2nd and 10.
A lot of sophomores coming in here now, some juniors.
Number 6, McKay Crichton, senior in the linebacker spot.
.450 left to go in the third quarter. Holliston up 9-7.
It's a quick pitch to number 32. He takes it out wide, but there's a flag on the play, likely for holding.
2 flags.
There's another flag in the defensive backfield. We'll see if these are the same penalty or if they're maybe offsetting.
Holding Milford.
And it's just a holding penalty on Milford, so that's going to back them up 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and long.
One of the things the Holliston that first defense did very, very well was on contain, especially to the out. You know, the linebackers and those tackles weren't letting the runner get outside. And this was the one time he did get outside, but maybe the result. Maybe the reason he got outside was because of the holding.
Right. Number 24, Tim Aylward in at the linebacker position as well. It's going to be 2nd and very long for Milford. Number 2 is the quarterback, or that's number 3 actually. Evades a tackle in the backfield, but not a second. He's forced out of bounds by number 24, Timothy Aylward.
This defense right now, they're flying to the ball.
Yeah, Milford moving backwards now, moving in the wrong direction. It's going to be 3rd and very, very long.
And
almost, if this was a regular game, almost, absolutely perfect time for a draw.
Well, you can bet right here that Coach Athey's going to turn these guys loose.
4:07 to go in the third quarter. Holliston hanging on to a 9-7 lead. Last scoring play, defensive safety by the Panthers. Milford looking at a 3rd and 26. And we have a whistle, delay of game on
delay
the
game, yeah.
Scarlet Hawks. That's going to back them up another 5 yards.
You look down, they give you the 10-second warning.
Yeah, and for people unfamiliar with the high school game, there isn't a play clock that's visible to anyone. You have to kind of keep your eyes on the umpire who's in the defensive backfield. He'll have a clock and he'll raise his hand when it gets under 10 seconds. Milford quarterback drops back. He has number 17 deep, and it's just through his fingertips. He was open. It was a very well-placed pass.
That was a beautiful pass. Nice, deep, spiral. Everything was perfect. It just got dropped, and lucky for Holliston it did, because that would have been a big, big gain, if not a touchdown.
Yeah, Grant Scudo had Kevin O'Connor deep, but O'Connor just couldn't reel it in. That's going to bring up a punting situation for Milford, 4th and about 30. Zindelit and Nash will come back out to kind of field the punt. Don't really have to. It's always good to be in the right place at the right time, nonetheless.
Get some practice fielding some punts.
Good penetration by the Holliston line there.
Ooh.
Ball is downed just inside the 40-yard line. That's where Holliston will take over. 1st and 10.
3:39 left to go in the third. We'll see what Holliston comes out with if they come up with the same group, which they probably will.
Yeah, it looks like the same group as last time. Offense getting some last-second instructions from Coach Todd Kiley. And it looks like Tomaselli will lead them back out for his second possession of the game. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Holliston comes out in the spread. It's a quick handoff to number 26. That is St. John.
Nice pickup by St. John. The offensive line here, once again, this new offensive line's working pretty well together, too.
Brings up a 2nd and 5 from the 43-yard line.
Coming up on 3 minutes left to go in the third. And, you know, it's still a close game. It's still 9-7. So, you know, Holliston still might open it up here a little bit.
Right.
Let Tomaselli throw the ball. Of course, his last pass was intercepted, and the last thing you want to do is leave that taste in your mouth.
Right.
That's the last thing you've done.
We always you want to have that balance between, you know, not, you know, tipping your hand too much, and also, you know, giving some practice on working on some of those
exactly,
specialty plays.
That looked
pass is just out of reach for number 12. That's Brian Gary.
Yeah, see, that would look like almost exactly the same play as before.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Tomaselli getting the play from Kiley. Stays in that pistol formation. Takes the snap and is brought down after about a gain of 1 yard. That'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, now
looks like Holliston will punt here.
Looks like they're going to punt.
You know, still want to work on your special teams as well.
Absolutely.
Don't have to go for it on 4th down every time. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Holliston leading 9-7. About to punt the ball back to Milford for their second possession of the second half. It's a nice punt, good coverage downfield. And it's going to be spotted at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, Topher Ryan's having a good night. He had a good night receiving, good night punting there. Junior.
Try to identify some new names on defense here. Number 62, Thornburg is out there. Number 25, Connor Walsh. 64, Jack Kinder. As we wait for the Milford offense to come back onto the field.
Looks like number 11, Andrew Del Ponte.
At the corner spot, and Colin Daly in at the defensive line position. 1st and 10 for Milford from their own 24-yard line. Scudo
Oh boy, he
rolls
got
out
away,
to the
yeah.
left, gets some free space, has the first down, finally tackled. Looks like that's Kinder on the tackle, but after the first down gain from Milford. It's going to be 1st and 10 Milford from their own 43-yard line.
Daniel Campbell, Justin Baddock checking in, along with number 70.
Rob Quinzani comes in as
Quinzani.
well. Milford comes out 2 wide right, 1 receiver wide left. Late coming offensive player. Pass is complete.
Wow.
To number 17. That's Kevin O'Connor. Gain is good for a first down into Holliston territory.
Well, that was just a beautiful pass. Again, he's getting the ball out very quickly. Nicely thrown ball, nicely thrown deep ball.
And it's a gain of about 30 yards. 1st and 10 Milford. Roll out to the right, feeling the pressure. Pass is complete. Number 10 finally gets tackled inside the 5-yard line. That's number 10, Xavier Hilton, with the reception. It's going to be 1st and goal for Milford from inside the 5, about the 4-yard line. Just about 30 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Well, Grant Scudo, he's putting a little show here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Milford finally getting something going on the passing game, finding some rhythm. And it's allowing them to move the ball down the field at a good clip. And this is their best offensive possession of the night. See if they can get this play off before the end of the third quarter. It looks like they're going to take a timeout. And they are. 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. Holliston leading 9-7. Milford comes back out for their 1st and goal opportunity. Holliston will see if they can keep them out of the end zone. It was Milford who forced a turnover when Holliston was deep in their own territory. We'll see if Holliston can do the same. First and goal for Milford. It's a quick keeper by the quarterback, and he is tackled immediately in the backfield. That's number 6, McKay Crichton.
That'll end the third quarter with a score of Holliston 9, Milford 7, and Holliston on the march. Well, we talked about what we're going to do at the end of the third quarter, so starting next game, we'll be doing a little historical fact about Holliston football, brought to you by the writer Ken Dunn, who did such a great job. He had the first volume of Holliston Panther football, and came out this year with the second version of the book, and then a new stat book that just came out too. So go to Amazon.com, look up Kenneth R. Dunn, or look up Holliston football, Panther football, and you'll find the 3 books there, and I would highly recommend you getting the books. And, Christmas is right around the corner.
That's right.
So, if you want to get, the stat book's about the size of a stocking. It's a good stocking stuffer, and the other book is the other book is big book. Yeah, the other book is a really big book. I don't know how many hundreds of pages, but it's a good read. They talk about every single game that Holliston ever played. There's a write-up on almost every single game. So if you know somebody who played for or against Holliston and they had a big game, chances are their name's in the book.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of Holliston football or just football in general, do yourself a favor. Check out this. It really is an encyclopedia of football knowledge for Holliston. Quarterback keeper for Milford gets a stiff arm in there and is able to get the ball down to inside the 5-yard line. Must looks like it's close to the 3 or 4. A little bit closer to the 4. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal for Milford. And the Panther defense have an opportunity here to dig their heels in and make a stand.
Yeah, I wonder too if they make the stop here, if Milford will kick a field goal.
Right.
That would be interesting to see.
Well, I mean, got to practice your field goals too.
Yep.
When you have a kicker like Milford does, you know, probably going to be kicking very often this season. Here we go, 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Milford spreads it out. Running back in motion into the backfield. Rollout is to the right, but he loses his footing.
Yeah,
and it's just downed in the backfield.
I think he tripped over his own blocker there. I think the back came up to block, and I think he tripped over him. So looks like they're going to send
here we
down
go.
the field
This
goal
might
team.
be the field goal you were looking for.
This would give them a 1-point lead, so this is interesting. Here comes the field goal blocking team for Holliston.
Yep. Don't have a number 9 on our roster here for Milford. Well, actually, this is number 8.
Yeah, this is.
Don't have an 8 either.
He's
This
been
guy was booming kicks in the pregame warmups.
kicking all night. Some big punts and some big kickoffs.
Ball is at the 11-yard line, so it's going to be about a 28-yard field goal attempt.
You know, you also got to watch here for a fake, too.
That's right.
Eric Lewis is lined up for the field goal attempt.
I mean, this is basically almost just an extra point, too.
Right. Snap is down.
Whoa.
It is more than good.
Good.
And with that, the Milford Scarlet Hawks take a 1-point lead. They now lead 10-9 with 8:34 to go in the game.
Next at 10-7, 10-9 lead with 8:34 to go.
I guess we get the kick. His name is Harry Lewis. So there you go.
All right. Harry Lewis with the go-ahead field goal for Milford. First time Holliston has been trailing tonight. But they will be getting the ball back here after this kickoff. Back deep to receive, Zindelet and Nash. Benson and Ibbotson next up.
8:34 left to go in this ball game. Milford up 10-9.
Want to thank everyone for watching this game on the Facebook page, the HCAT Facebook page. You'll be able to watch every game throughout this 2018 season, streaming live on Facebook, wherever you may be.
And the way it looks tonight, it could be a very exciting season, so you want to make sure to tune in if you're not here.
Kickoff is a good one. That one is just at the goal line where it is fielded by Zindelet. But the ball will be spotted at the 25.
Panthers will take over 1st and 10 off the 25.
1st and 10 for the Panthers, trailing by a point.
Well, here's your opportunity.
Yeah, and what it really is an opportunity for the younger kids now, right?
Yep, to come
'Cause,
out here and see if they can move the ball down the field.
We see a lot of the, second teamers, a lot of maybe JV guys that are getting some time in, maybe looking to make that step up to varsity.
And this is really important for several reasons. One of the things that Holliston is very, very good at is getting a lot of players in. So if someone should happen to miss a game for whatever reason, they usually have a pretty good backup for everybody to come out and be able to play at the high level, the same high level as the first team.
Handoff.
That's number
is
26.
to St. John. He's having a pretty good second half here. Lots of positive yardage on his runs. That's a gain of 6. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Again, Grady St. John being sophomore.
Second and about 5.
Number 32, Ratcliffe, comes in motion to the right. Tomaselli unloads a pass that is off the fingertips of number 27, Kevin Bailowitz.
Yeah, Sean Keast was out there too, and I think what happened was when Matt Tomaselli, when he came outside, I think he was going to first looking for Justin Keast, and then he saw the other receiver come across the field, and then he tried to hit him, Kevin Bailowitz. So
it's 3rd and 4 for the Holliston Panthers at about the 31-yard line. Handoff is to number 9. That's Mitchell Gimblett, speedy running back. And gain is good for a first down. It's all the way to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, good to see Mitch in on offense. He's played a lot of defense, and last year he did, as we said earlier, had some good plays on defense, some big plays.
Panthers will speed it up here and give it to Gimblett again. Bounces it out to the right.
Another first down.
Very close to a first down. It is a first down. Looks like it.
Oh, boy.
So you have a player on the field. It's a little shaken up.
So we'll take a timeout here.
And we're just about ready to pick up play again. 1st and 10 from midfield for the Panthers. Slot to the left, flanker out right. Slot comes in motion to the right, and the handoff is to Gimblett. He finds some space, jukes a couple of tacklers, drags a few more, has the first down, plus maybe 4 more yards. It's going to be another first down for Holliston.
Remember what I was saying about you got to find people to back up these other guys? Well, you got one right there. You got a good one. And what he did is he doesn't stop running. He gets hit, and he keeps driving. And that old yards after contact thing there. Mitch Gimblett did a nice job right there.
It's a 1st and 10 at the Milford 36-yard line. But Holliston is driving. Tomaselli unloads a pass to the left sideline, but it's dropped. He had Brian Gary there. Looks like he was running a flag pattern, just couldn't reel it in. Yeah,
and Matt Tomaselli showing off his arm there, and he's got a very strong arm and pretty accurate. He's as I said, we saw him in the passing camp, in the passing league there, and one night he was there, and he had a heck of a game.
Second and 10 for the Panthers. Handoff is to St. John. It's forced out of bounds. It's actually Logan Brooks on the carry, his first of the night.
And you can see now with this offensive line as they get some time together now. They've had a couple drives here. They're getting some time together, and they're getting their timing down, their rhythm down. They're getting some nice blocking.
It's a first down. Ball is spotted at the 25-yard line of Milford. Panthers just outside of the red zone. St. John back in at tailback behind Tomaselli. Tomaselli with the keeper. Finds some room, takes it all the way down inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for Holliston.
6:44 left to go in this ball game, and Holliston is on the march now.
Yeah. And Jay, one of the positives I think out of tonight, you didn't see a lot of procedural penalties, right?
Right.
Not a lot of false starts, a lot
Right,
of
yep.
offsides, delay games.
And those are the things you expect in your first regular season game. That now you get these things you didn't, as we said, we don't have them anyway. But those are the things you want to get out of the way.
First and goal from the Panthers from the Milford 6-yard line. Radcliffe clubs in motion to the right, and the handoff is to St. John. He is just shy of the goal line. It's going to be second and goal from the 2-yard line.
Now it's down into 6 minutes to go.
Almost like a 2-point conversion here. Second and goal. The handoff is to St. John, and he's in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Panthers.
Well, I'll tell you, you saw a lot on that. You saw some really good running, some passing that was. Even though some of the passes weren't caught, they were there. They did their job. They opened up that defense a little bit, made them step back and respect the pass, open up the defense, and then that offensive line just took over and just, threw the great blocks to get those running backs to go down the field and score the touchdown.
Right, and really give Matt Tomaselli credit for making, some plays with his legs when the passing, plays were breaking down.
Yeah.
Connor Mulvaney will come out to attempt the extra point. Panthers with a 5-point lead. Arvanitis to hold.
Whoa.
And
this can be run
point,
back.
Yeah, the extra point is kind of miskicked, and it's fielded by Milford, but they're just going to call it dead. So the extra point is no good. Holliston now retakes the lead 15-10 with 5:46 to go in the fourth quarter.
So now it's up to the Holliston defense to come back and finish this game off for the Panthers. That was really, really nice drive. Really nice drive. And as you said, you made an excellent point, Carlos, in the fact that Matt Tomaselli, that big run he had to, was probably the thing that really got them down there. And, the running of Mitchell Gimlet and some of these other guys, it's good to see because they run hard. I don't care who you're running against. If you run hard, you're running hard. And you're going to need that sometime during the year. There's going to be times when you're going to give that first team guy, give those first team guys a rest or something. And or sometimes you just put these guys in and you just say, okay, we have four running backs who are first team running backs, and we're just going to keep running at you. So it's good to find that out, and you're finding out tonight that they have that.
Mulvaney kicks off, and it's down at, I believe, inside the 10-yard line. They will spot it at the 25.
Another thing that was good to see is, when you're counting on having a good offensive line like Holliston does with that first team, then the second team goes out there and they power the ball down the field with an offensive line. Now you got guys you can plug and play in there also. So really, really good night. I think in that sense, I think the coaching staff is going to be very, very pleased.
Absolutely. 5:46 to go in the game. Milford will come out to try to answer the Holliston touchdown. Sam Curell in there, defensive line position, defensive end.
First down, Milford.
First and 10, Milford from their 25.
One to the right side.
Handoff is to number 22.
Close to a first down.
That's Maxwell Martin. He gets out close to first down yardage. Actually, they are going to give him the first down,
Yep.
looks like.
And he gets out of bounds, which stops the clock at 5:40. 5 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in this ball game. 15-10, Holliston with the lead.
Yeah, and if you're Milford, you really have to score here because you don't want to give the ball back to Holliston
Right.
and have them, go to war and just drain that clock. You're running out of possessions here. Oh, what a great play.
Nice
That's
tackle.
number 56. I believe that's Daniel Campbell shooting through the line to make the tackle. Actually, that's number 55, Justin Baddock. Great play.
Excellent play, a nice form tackle, too.
It's a loss of 1 yard, 2nd and 11. And the clock is running, 5:10 to go in the fourth quarter.
Now, a couple things could be going on here. You know, they could be trying to come downfield and win the game, or they could be working on stuff and just maybe just want to run the clock, run the ball and see how they do running the ball. So it's interesting. I think they probably will pop out with a passing game here in a minute. Whoa.
Wow, that is
Another
completely
loss.
blown up in the
Yeah.
backfield.
Well, those defensive tackles are getting in, and they're blowing right through the Milford offensive line.
Yeah, we're seeing that defensive penetration really take hold here and allowing those linebackers and defensive backs to step up and make tackles. It's another loss. That one's for about 4 yards. It's 3rd and 15 for Milford.
Clock ticking, coming up on 4:05. There will be under 4 minutes when this play gets off.
Yeah, Milford taking their time.
Third down.
Dual slots to each side of the field.
Looking to throw.
Oh!
He's got a receiver back there.
Intercepted.
But it's intercepted.
With one hand. Who caught that ball?
That's number 23. Ryan Stanwood, as you said, with one arm
yeah, one arm up, one arm down.
tied behind his back there, still made the interception. Almost could have called offensive pass interference on that.
Yeah, and I don't see who did it, but somebody really hit that quarterback just as he released the ball. So with 3:43 left now, Holliston's in a position where they can run the clock.
Yeah, we'll see if they come out in the war offense. Again, you don't want to kind of use all of the tools in the tool bag
Yeah, you don't want to show everybody
all at
everything.
once. But we know what this team is apt to do when they need to drain the clock.
Now, again, you don't know what they're going to work on here. They may work on, okay, we're behind. They may say, we're behind by 1 or 2 points. Let's see if we can score.
Absolutely.
You know?
Right.
Gets inside. No gain.
Handoff is inside to St. John. It's a short gain of about 1 or 2 yards.
Scrimmage. Second down.
Going to bring up a 2nd and 8 with the clock ticking. 3:20. Holliston hanging on to a 15-10 lead in the 10th annual Joey Laracy Bowl.
So next week we go to Norton, and that is now it's a TVL game, but it's not a TVL Lodge game anymore. So it's really it's a non-league game.
Cross-divisional game.
Yeah, cross-divisional.
St. John with the handoff, spins around a tackle, gets through the line, and picks up a good 4 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 3 or 4.
Then 2 weeks from tonight, we get a bye because nobody wants to play us. They're afraid of us.
That elusive week 3 bye.
And then we're home, I believe, to Westwood, starting the TVL Lodge. Now, this year in the TVL Lodge, for those who don't know, Ashland is in the TVL Lodge. They kind of switched out with Norton. And Norwood,
which is great for Holliston.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Being from Ashland, I think it's great. And Norwood, who came in from the Bay State League, is also in the TVL Lodge. So 6 teams this year in the TVL Lodge. You get those 5 games. And based on that, we're going to find out if you make the playoffs, and if you do, where you go.
Carter Capello comes in, the offensive line position. As does Daniel Campbell.
That Norwood game, by the way, is a Saturday game. I believe it's October 13th. And we haven't had many non-playoff Saturday games. We had one. Actually, we did have one. The last one we had was in Norwood when we played them a few years ago.
It's fourth down, fourth and pretty much inches here. See what happens. Only a minute, just over a minute to go, a minute and 17 seconds. Holliston's going to take their timeout.
Yeah, that's when you throw the bomb downfield.
Yeah, right. The old flea flicker, right?
Yeah.
I want to take the opportunity to thank everyone again for tuning in, whether on Facebook Live or, coming to the game in person. Like we said, just a special night here in Holliston every year. 10th annual Joey Laracy Bowl. All the proceeds and donations from tonight to go to the American Heart Association in remembrance of the life and legacy of Joey Laracy. So thanks again to everyone who came out, everyone who's tuning in on the Facebook feed. If you haven't made a donation, please go ahead and do so. It's going to a great cause.
Fourth and inches.
We'll see what happens here on fourth down. Panthers come out in war. And easily, Tomaselli with the first down and more. He might score here. Tomaselli breaking free, running out of gas at the 15-yard line, but that'll set up Holliston with a 1st and 10.
Well, once again, Tomaselli with his legs doing a really nice job, and he just broke through a lot of tackles, a lot of potential tacklers there. That offensive line giving him a little light and a little crack open. He came right through it and got a real long gain.
A couple more substitutions in here. Number 17, Joe Cassidy in. Panthers back to war, and they're going to just keep it again. Tomaselli with the sneak. Gets a good 4 or 5 yards. 40 seconds to go in the game. Final thoughts as we head into the regular season starting next week.
Yeah, I'm looking. I think they're going to be very comfortable with what they have. I like the offensive line. Avanitis played really, really well. We didn't see much of the war, so we didn't get to see much of Henry Naughton running the war offense. But the receivers look good. The offensively they look strong. Defensively, they played very, very well. Holliston did a really nice job defensively. And the other thing is, I see a lot of times you get into these games near the end of the game and you get, a bunch of people just kind of messing around a little bit. But Holliston showed us tonight that they're deep. They're deep. I mean, they've got several players at each position with 2 seconds left. We'll take a timeout here. So, the only thing you never do know is how the other teams are.
Right.
How they're going. There's a lot of people graduated out of the league last year, but there's a lot of kids who are coming back. A lot of quarterbacks coming back. I think Medfield might look okay. Westwood, I don't know. They're always going to give Holliston a battle anyway. Hopkinton lost a lot, but they have a lot coming back. Ashland is new to the Lodge, and of course Norwood is new to the Lodge. So, you don't know. I mean, if it works out the way you think it works out, they easily could go. If they beat Norton, if they can beat Norton, they can go. 5-1, 6-0, whatever it is. They do have the wherewithal to do that.
Last play of the game here. Tomaselli rips one to the corner of the end zone, but it's too far. It was intended for number 88, Joey DeLuca. And that's the final play of the game. Panthers 15, Milford 10. Holliston with its 10th consecutive win in the Laracy Bowl. That's a clean 10-0.
Yeah, nice job. I think you're going to see a lot of happy coaches, a lot of happy kids. But there is some work to be done. There were a few mistakes made. Those will be clean those up a little bit, and you might have a team here that can really do some damage in this league.
Yeah, the other big thing is, injuries. They appear to have come out of this game pretty, injury-free.
Right.
Maybe a couple bumps and bruises, as you always see.
Right.
But, yeah, I think coaching staff should be pleased with the performance. I think they have some things to work on. Holding on to the ball. Some crisper. Passing patterns, that sort of thing. But lots of optimism for this Panther team.
We'd also like to thank our staff tonight. I mean, this, in order to put these games on Facebook, it takes a lot of work, and we have the best. We have the lovely Lisa upstairs, who turns, as I said, 39 on Sunday. Happy birthday to her. Steve Hedrick, who is down here as one of our consultants.
Bruce and Don in the truck.
Yeah, Bruce and Don are down in the truck, and Chris McNerney, a new name, who's working with us here at HCAT, and he does a real nice job, and he does a nice job editing. Cam Guilfoyle, of course, as you said, Bruce Guilfoyle. Bruce Guilfoyle. I always want to call him Guilfoyle. Bruce Guilfoyle, and of course Don Cronin down there, and Carlos did a great job tonight. Thank you very much. It was a big help to us here. And
congratulations to the Emmons family.
Yeah, the Emmons
first
family.
and foremost.
Yep, we'll have Melissa Emmons getting married on Sunday, and we'll be seeing Tom next week. And of course, next week we'll have it set up so really 3 men in the booth. You'll be able to do a lot of talking then. So I'm guessing between you and Tom, I might not get a word in edgewise, but that's not
necessarily a bad thing, is it?
That might make for a better game anyway. Final score tonight: Holliston 15, Milford 10. The 10th annual Varsity Bowl. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.